Kyle.
Hi, everybody.
We can't even see Chris. You know he's losing his mind.
Oh, man, I wish I could see him. Chris, can you see our little boxes on the side since you're the admin?
I can.
Yeah?
Yeah, you guys are having a
Grand old
good
time over here.
Yeah.
Yep, we're having a good old time.
Well, you guys do the pre-show. I'm going to get a drink, okay?
Sure.
You just do the
I definitely
just do the
won't. I
pre-show.
definitely won't resume playing Justin Bieber while you're gone. Yeah.
He needs to go cool off.
You know what? Kyle's now muted in the pre-show. Joe, you can just talk to everybody now until I'm back, okay?
Kyle cannot unmute himself?
Nope, he cannot. So he's just going to sit there in mute until I'm back.
Okay. What's up,
Oh,
Aiden?
hello.
Kyle, are you going to behave yourself?
Hello.
Sam, what's up? Vontell is here.
Aiden, I see you talking about peaches. Oh, Aiden wants us to play peaches, Chris.
Aiden,
listen, do you
we're
think
not playing peaches?
Is Mike's last name really Dolphins? Mike Dolphins, and just happens to be a Dolphins.
I'm going to say it is.
Kyle, did you see the video of those Dolphins
up,
fans with Dolphins heads on and partying this past weekend? Surely.
Yeah, they dropped the ball though.
Okay,
because if they were smart, they should have used the Dolphins fight song as the music.
Yeah, all that for just not having the right music on. So
hey, real quick, Vontell dropping a take on us, and I want to make sure we get the fruit take in here. Joe, pineapples, pears, and strawberries are the top 3 fruits.
Pineapples are definitely top 3. I would say strawberries too. I don't know if pears are fine. They're not bad, but are grapes fruit? Because they're definitely better than pears.
That's a bad take, but okay.
Like a good tangerine, good orange, that's hard to beat.
What's pineapples, pears? That's a bad take.
Chris, are grapes good? Yes or no?
Yes, grapes are very good.
Jeez Louise, guys.
Apple slices are also good.
Slices.
You know what's a low-key sleeper goat fruit? Mango.
Bottom tier melon.
Bottom tier melon.
What are you?
It's good. It's just not. It's not an elite melon.
What are you
I like other
talking
melons
about?
more.
What about cherries? We like cherries here
delicious.
on the show.
Absolutely. Yeah, Sam, I'm with you. Like slices. Josh Allen does say cantaloupe. He's a cantaloupe farmer.
What else? What else do you call them when you cut an apple into pieces?
Do you? You don't just eat the apple?
No, you slice them into pieces and then you get a little peanut butter on them.
No, I don't think
you
so.
keep that in your lunchbox, Chris?
Let's
we ready to start?
Brother. Shooby. What was that?
What did it look like on your end? Because on my end, it completely froze. It locked me out of the Restream backend.
No, it didn't freeze.
Woo!
It was like.
Let's see if I can save this entire stream with a good opening of this great.
My word!
Yeah, I'm gonna hit retweet. Try and get some of those millions and millions of the Rocks fans that we lost here in the intro back on the stream.
Wow.
Chris, what's going on, man? Did you forget to turn the Wi-Fi on?
No,
what's going on?
Nothing changed on my end. We were talking in the pre-show. I went to the little graphic section. I clicked on the nice little video that we have in the open. I turned the pre-show graphic off, and then it just froze up on me.
Rusty. You're rusty. It's good to be here. What's better than this? Guys being dudes. Live stream presented by Mighty Swell. Pineapple for Kyle. I'm going grapefruit again. I told you I like grapefruit.
Wrong.
Oh, even better. Raspberry mango.
Mango. Top fruit, not a bottom level melon, you melon head.
So,
bottom tier melon.
Just to let everybody know, because of what apparently occurred at the beginning of the show, I had to refresh the chat. So you're going to have to re-put your takes in there. So
Chris.
Sorry. Big F in the chat for me, but.
Like somebody said, never trust a guy who's never seen Lion King.
I see. I don't see that.
As
comment.
It says in the Bible.
I would put that comment up, but I don't necessarily see it.
So, Sports Nut, Chris's face is beet red not because of anything that went on with the intro, but because he went on a work trip this weekend and got toasty.
I have no control over what happens with the intro. I push a button and it plays, and it either plays or it doesn't play.
How about this question from Steven? We want to start there since... Yeah, let's start here. Joe, your best landing spot for Julio Jones?
If it means Aaron Rodgers will be happy, Green Bay all day. Because that team goes from contender with Aaron Rodgers to I'm not sure you're a playoff team with Jordan Love.
What about Baltimore?
Be a good spot.
Man, I was hoping for more of a reaction than that.
Well, I mean, the thing is, you think about all the numbers. We went through this, I think, last week, where the volume's just not going to be there. They threw the ball the least of any team last year. So, you have to keep that in mind. He would help that team. It would make him better, for sure. Tennessee kind of needs him.
Yeah, Tennessee is, I think, the spot that has the most pressing vacancy. And Sportsnet with a great call for the Chargers. I would love to see the Chargers make a move for him, too.
Look good in those unis, man.
Stop.
This take about what Shannon Sharpe did today on Undisputed.
I don't think they were getting a 1 anyway. And that was reported last week that they didn't think the Falcons would get a 1 for Julio Jones.
Yeah, I don't think they were ever getting a 1. Do we really believe that Julio had no idea he was on live television?
Maybe. I think it's a very real possibility.
Let's take from Vontell. I'm not allowed to answer. Jalen Phillips, Patrick Surtain, and Zaven Collins will be the top 3 defensive rookie of the year candidates.
No.
You don't think one of those top 2 linebackers and Mike and Jamin Davis, because they're the top 2 in the betting odds right now, think they'll both fall out of the top 3?
I think Phillips and Surtain are perfectly good answers. It's Collins that I get hung up on.
He'll have opportunities.
Yeah, but I think they've shown that it's going to take them a little time to acclimate these defensive chess pieces that they keep adding.
Okay, so I'm out, but it's more so because I think the resumes of others will be more impressive, particularly at the linebacker position. And Joe, it sounds like you're out because you're skeptical about Arizona's ability to onboard Zaven quickly.
And I would put one of those 2 linebackers in. I would mention who's like the non-first round guy that we should be thinking about. Azeez Ojulari, Javon Holland.
Holland is a good one because they've already moved Bobby McCain. So that vacancy is going to be there for them. Yeah.
Just take from Aiden. David Johnson will have a 1,000-yard rushing season and prevent the Texans from picking number 1.
I think the problem with that idea is that you can play straight up against Houston, right? Like I don't think there's anything that they present offensively that stresses you in a way that you have to be committed to stopping the run or you have to be committed to stopping the pass or like they don't have anything like that. And because of that, I don't think that they're going to be able to ride any one thing. So I'd be surprised, number one, if he was healthy enough to get this production. But number two, if the offensive structure is going to allow it to happen.
So he barely eclipsed 1,000 yards over the last 2 seasons combined, despite the fact that he played in 25 games over that stretch. He has one career 1,000-yard season. It was back in 2016. Law of averages says I'm out, and I think they'll be losing football games at a big enough degree in which they're not going to be able to really feed them the football. They're going to have to pass because they're going to be losing football games.
Melvin Ingram would give the Dolphins a top 5-10 defensive line in the National Football League.
Depends on what you think Melvin Ingram looks like in 2021 after the knee injury, right? I mean, and he missed some time this past year. He only played in 7 games. If you get 2019 version of Melvin Ingram, he's probably your second best pass rusher. And he'll be your most accomplished pass rusher. The question is, will you see that guy? Or were the injuries that took place last year enough to really sap his twitch and explosiveness? I don't agree with Vontell that Melvin is washed. He had a really good season 2 years ago. He was hurt last year. It's hard to say he's washed. I know he's an older guy. I know he spent 9 years with the Chargers organization, but he was really good and really diverse as recently as 2019.
Just take from Raul. Due to their investments to the defensive line in the draft, either the Bills or the Colts will lead the lead in sacks this season.
Joe, if you're not all the way out on this, I will take it for you.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think either one's going to be in the top 10.
Top 10?
No, neither the Colts or Bills will be in the top 10 when it comes to
I agree with the Bills. Let's go Defoe.
Hold on, let me just get the Slack open because
I would disagree. I would say that I think the Bills will have more sacks than the Colts, but I don't think either one get in the top 10.
Chris,
hold on here. Let me just.
We will potentially have a bet by the end of the show.
Okay. We have 4 currently before the season has even started.
Correct. And before the summer's even started. We're still in spring mode.
Yeah. So this is going to be crazy. Let's take from Dion Dunn. Falcons running back Mike Davis will be a top 5 rusher with Arthur Smith being his head coach.
I could see it. I can absolutely see that.
I'm hoping so. You know, he's kind of been a guy who's really proven he could play, but hasn't really been given like the unquestioned opportunity for a while. You all right?
Yeah, you okay, Joe? It's like listen, I know my intro was bad earlier, but don't.
Chris, you remember the blooper I sent you?
Yes.
Friday's show?
Yes.
That is immortalized in video, Joe, just so you know. I have that in my back pocket for a rainy day. I would love to see Mike Davis finally have the breakout because he's a guy who's just always been the second option. Well, now's your chance, Mike. Make the most of it. I'm rooting for this one to take place.
Let's take from Dan. The Browns' defensive line completely relies on Myles Garrett continuing to be superhuman and is going to be their downfall.
We got Clowney. They've got, I mean, it's a different group this year, right?
They're going to be a test for pass rush versus secondary is what they're going to be. Would you agree with me that if equal or greater concern is whether or not that wide receiver core takes form? Because you need Odell to be Odell and to be healthy. You need Jarvis Landry to be more meaningful. You need Donovan Peoples-Jones to take a step. You need Schwartz to become some type of meaningful field stretcher for you. To me, that's what makes me a little bit nervous. Yeah. On top of Cleveland early, and you're able to run the ball at them. And they have, Clowney's a really good run defender. Garrett's a really good player in all things. Andrew Billings there. But if you can lean on them and try and wear them and you force them to be one-dimensional in the postseason, that for me is the big test for Cleveland, where I think Cleveland can make a deep playoff run, but it's going to have to be based off of the game script early in the game playing in Cleveland's favor. I don't think they're constructed right now to, if they get 3 bad bounces early in a game, that they can recover from it and come back and make sure that they win a football game.
This take from Aiden's pretty interesting. Trevor Lawrence isn't Urban Meyer proof.
What does that mean?
You know what it means, Joe. Don't ask questions like that. You know what it means. It means Urban Meyer could ruin the talent that we all think Trevor Lawrence is.
Doesn't Urban Meyer have like a good history of working with quarterbacks, though? At least at the college
level. Yeah.
So that's when I say Urban Meyer proof. Like, we're assuming that Urban Meyer is a bad developer of quarterbacks in the NFL, which we don't know the answer to that. He's been a good quarterback developer at college level.
I would agree with the sentiment of this take that as good as we think Trevor Lawrence is, I'm not sure Trevor Lawrence is the transcendent drag a franchise up from the muck by himself. He's going to need help. And the question is, will Jacksonville make the right personnel decisions, and do they have the right coaching staff in place to allow that to happen? Or are you going to start playing musical chairs, not this season probably, but next season, where somebody gets fired, you make a change, you get antsy, you start, and the Cons have been fairly patient. I would argue they waited too long to make some changes within their organization, but that's the big question, I think. And just the way Jacksonville has been run, is that going to stunt Trevor Lawrence's maturation as a prospect?
I have a 2-part question for you.
Okay.
Outside of Andrew Luck, do you remember a quarterback that you evaluated that you thought going into the NFL, where they were the type of quarterback that could drag a franchise along, as you kind of stated there? Like who? Because those
started
guys
in 2013.
But don't those guys just kind of happen? Like Pat Mahomes was not a top. Well, he was picked 10, right? He wasn't the first quarterback drafted. 9 teams passed on him.
Right, but I think part of that expectation is rooted in you being the top pick in the draft.
Okay. So of the quarterbacks this year, he's the one that you would think can do that. But like the guy that came to my head, so as I was preparing to ask myself this question to you, I asked myself the question. And I thought about Joe Burrow. And I said, is Joe Burrow that type of quarterback that I think can drag a franchise in ways that I don't think Trevor Lawrence can? And then I asked myself, if Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow were in the draft together, which one would I pick? And I'd pick Trevor Lawrence. But I feel when you put it through the lens of which one can drag the franchise, I sort of feel like Burrow's the guy that can do that.
Burrow, more transcending qualities as far as the chip on his shoulder and his path to being the number 1 overall pick. And let's be honest, LSU, most seasons, is a 9-win program.
Yeah,
Joe Burrow drugged that team to an undefeated season with scorching the SEC passing record book for a single season. I might disagree with you there. I might go with Joe.
Really?
And part of it just really comes down to watching both of those offenses play.
Well, yeah.
Right. And I remember I called you when we did the Trevor Lawrence eval, and I'm like, man, we talked about this on Monday's show, on today's podcast, about not watching players outside of your region in a deep dive until the winter. And I remember calling you, and I'm like, man, like this offense was very running back screen, RPO, short stuff, and then just vertical shots. And like that was a lot of the offense, where Joe working in empty a lot of the times at LSU. And I just think there's more translatable reps in the LSU offense than there is in the Clemson offense. That plus his intangibles is enough for me to push him.
Lord says, thanks to Chase and Jefferson. I think that's a fair point. I don't think you can say that any one of the receivers that Trevor Lawrence had at Clemson were better than Chase or Jefferson.
Okay. But I don't think that made Joe Burrow.
Certainly helped, right?
Didn't hurt.
Yeah.
This take from Kyle. The NHL playoffs, it's the Stanley Cup playoffs, are the second best annual postseason tournament next to March Madness.
I don't watch either.
This is wrong because March Madness is not the best tournament.
Okay, we have a lot to unpack here.
I don't watch either of these things, and I don't care about either one of them.
There's not enough time.
I also don't care about the NBA playoffs.
I'm just going to move on to the next.
I certainly don't care about the baseball playoffs.
Another take from Aiden. Joe would take less money than Kyle to become a Patriots fan.
What does that say?
It's just a take. Okay, I just put the takes up. You respond to them.
Yeah, but
it says that Joe would take less money than Kyle to become a Patriots fan.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Does that mean that I hate the Patriots less than Kyle? Does it mean that I am more easily motivated by money than Kyle is? Like, what's the
insinuation there?
Is Kyle more loyal to the Dolphins than I am the Bills? Like, I'm wondering what of these three things stand out.
I think it's referring to me hating the Patriots more than you do.
I'm sure you do, because I don't really hate any team.
You should try it. It's fun.
Nah, it's bad. I don't care. I really don't care.
I despise the New England Patriots. Like, despise them.
The reason that I don't care is I learned a long time ago to not let my emotions be affected by football teams.
Joe, he was the coach of the Jets for like 3 minutes, okay? And then he went to the Patriots and he built the Death Star, okay? I don't like them. I want them to lose every game.
Brother, Tom Brady was 32-3 for his career against the Bills.
But you didn't have Tom Brady. Chris had Bill
Belichick was my coach, Joe, for all of about 3 minutes. He wrote his resignation on a napkin.
So you're saying that you have the biggest reason to hate?
So I'm saying, like, for you to be like, I can't believe anybody would hate the Patriots. Like,
Chris sees that and says, that should be me.
He should be my coach.
That's all right, Chris. I had Nick Saban, and we almost signed Drew Brees. And then we didn't.
It wasn't Nick Saban's fault that you didn't.
And Nick said, you're asking me I'm going to be the head coach at Alabama. I'm not going to, so quit asking. And then he took the head coaching job at Alabama and left on like Christmas Day on a private jet.
Not a chance I'd ever jump on it. The worst thing about Bill's Mafia is they do stupid shit like jump on tables.
Would you do that? Would you ever do that? Why not?
Because this is why. Because Bill's Mafia was created because Mafia means family. It was a charitable thing, doing good things for people in Western New York. And now it's been framed as these dumbasses that get drunk and jump through tables. You know what I mean?
What if you could choke slam, rock bottom, power bomb me through a table at a Dolphins-Bills game? Would you go through a table?
That would bring me zero satisfaction to me. None.
I think there's an assumption here saying that they're good tables. I think that's a poor assumption on
that is very much a good assumption. There's some wild stuff that goes on in Bills pre-games at the stadium.
It's crazy.
You got nothing to do. It's Western New York, baby. There's 8 Sundays a year. You get a home Bills game. Football or Buffalo is a
you get 9 this year.
Football problem. 9
you
this
get
year.
9 this year. Yeah.
I heard a good idea on that. They said, well, instead of having this imbalance where you have some teams with 9 home games and some with 8, why doesn't everyone have 8 home games, 8 away games, and 1 neutral site game? Bring the NFL to towns like Lincoln, Nebraska, or in Birmingham, Alabama.
Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yeah, bring it to other towns.
I'm sorry, Paige. I hope you're not listening.
Sure.
Bring it to other towns. You do the international things. Every team does that once.
Okay. But, Joe, do you really think that right now in 2021, that with COVID still being a thing, that they want to add more places that they have to have these protocols. Them adding the international games back was already a big step.
Strip that away from it.
No, but that's the reason why they're not doing it in 2021.
No, that's not why they're not. You're telling me that if COVID wasn't happening, that they would do this idea?
It certainly would be a bigger consideration.
Has anybody even thought about this?
I remember when we talked about 17 games, people thought of the idea of doing a neutral site game.
I heard it for the first time this week on a podcast, and so that's why I brought it up.
Kyle's just been pointing the whole time.
Yeah, now I lost it. You guys talked too long. Hold on.
All right, we'll wait.
Yeah, I got it. Okay. Joe, I'll sign off on this idea on one stipulation.
What idea?
That everybody plays 8-8 and then a neutral site game.
Okay.
The Bills' neutral site game has to be played in Toronto.
Yeah, Canadian people deserve football too. That'd be
great. That
would be an advantage for the Bills because they would not have to go somewhere else. You'd have to go to Toronto. You wouldn't have to go to Germany or Mexico. It would be the best possible thing for them to go to Toronto.
I was expecting more of a bitter reaction because Toronto almost took your football team.
John Bon Jovi almost took my football team. Not the city of Toronto.
Okay, so somebody's asking.
Bon Jovi on the awards last night giving Pink that award, and I gave him the bird.
Scott wants to know how that's a neutral site. How far away is Green Bay from Toronto? Or Detroit from Toronto? You'd have to play like a regional game there.
Cleveland or something.
He was halfway there, that's right.
Jamie.
Yeah, I'd put it in the schedule every year. Bills, Lions, and Toronto. Sign me up.
I bet.
You find another take here for us. Jay Scott, you've been putting this in there a lot. I'll throw it up there. Colts need to re-sign Houston because their first 2 picks in the draft won't combine for the production Houston will deliver. That's disrespectful to Quiddy Pay, but
it is a little disrespectful.
A little.
They should sign Justin Houston back. Yes.
Sam Teets, my guy. Green Bay to Toronto is 607 miles. It's a short trip. Relatively short trip. Chris, any other takes?
I'm finding another one. Just relax, everybody. Just calm down here. Do you want
Vontell wants to know if the Bills moved to Toronto, would you have remained a Bills fan?
No.
And I know the answer here.
No. We were pivoting to the Minnesota Vikings. Yeah, I already had the plan figured out. I was done. Out. Yep.
You guys want to weigh in on this take, or do you want me to just find another one?
Yeah, I'm selling because Tebow's not making the team this year.
Joe, any thoughts here? Okay, I'll take that as a no.
No, that's compelling. I think I'm not going to commit to Tebow not making the team, but I will commit to Minshew throwing more touchdowns.
Wait a minute. There was a tweet the other day in which my guy Joe Marino called the Tebow signing the most what was the phrase that you used?
The most insignificant May signing in the history of the NFL.
And you used it to take a shot at me, and now you're going to tell me that you're not going to rule out that he doesn't make the team?
Yeah, both things can be true. That's fine. The Tim Tebow signing with Jacksonville did not deserve, it did not warrant, it did not merit the conversation and vitriol that has come from the move. That's my point. That has nothing to do with me thinking he can make the team or not.
New fan of the Minnesota Vikings.
Fantastic.
Oh, Dylan, I like this one.
All right, there you go.
Right on the top there. 4 of the 5 first-round quarterbacks will start in week 1.
Ooh.
So
Wilson.
We're talking Wilson, Locke, Lawrence, Locke.
That's where the conversation ends.
Right.
It's over.
You need
for
Jones,
Locks,
Fields, and Lance to start. 2 of those.
I would sell on that. I think you'll get somebody else. I think
the next time somebody starts is week 4. Justin Fields starts week 4 against Detroit at home. I've looked at the schedule. And that's where it happens.
Do we think New England?
Mac Jones starts week 5 after the Sunday night game. After the Bucs game, it's a really nice schedule. Weeks 5 through weeks 9.
Who wins that game? Who do you think? We didn't do that yet on the.
Just save it then. Save it. Then.
Oh, okay, cool.
I think that's Thursday's episode anyway.
Ooh, Vontell, this is spicy.
Okay,
Vontell, you're on a heater today, dude. Joe, what are your thoughts?
That's good. That's
what are your
good.
thoughts?
No, that's really good. Yeah, I like it.
You do?
I like it. Yeah, I'm not a big Kirby guy. I've been to Georgia practices and I've seen his like shtick. Not a fan.
Whomst among us can justify that fake punt call?
Nobody
in the SEC championship game against Alabama from like their own 40 with a minute and a half left, and it was like 4th and 8. Kirby is a better recruiter. I'll give him that.
Man, Texas A&M lit it up this year.
They do. And
once
Jimbo
Kirby
can recruit,
trusted, man, gonna get dicey.
I still say Kirby's a better recruiter, but that's a very compelling argument.
Who would you hire? You became the athletic director for Tennessee. By the way, maybe Tennessee should have just stuck with Greg Schiano. I don't know. Maybe they should have. You see,
Rutgers is like they're 7th in the country or something like that.
The Vols fan ran them out of town, man. So, okay, you're going to be the head coach of Tennessee. You hiring Jimbo Fisher or Kirby Smart?
Jimbo. You can get the quarterback right.
You get the AD for West Virginia. Are you hiring Kirby Smart or Jimbo Fisher?
Give me Kirby Smart.
Really?
I need to get talent to my program, man. Give me the better recruiter. Hopefully talent wins out.
You think he's that much better of a recruiter?
I do.
He's not, and he's not going to get the quarterback right because Kirby has an established track record of picking the wrong quarterbacks over and over and over again.
Right. He convinced Jake Fromm to pivot from Alabama to Georgia and said, "You know what, Justin Fields? This is my guy, Jake Fromm."
Thanks, but no thanks.
Jake Fromm.
Give me Jimbo.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else? We got any one more fire take to close us down?
You want one
everybody
more
give it up?
Here you go. Tyler Higbee will be a top 3 tight end in yards this season from Colby to close the show.
This is a piping hot take here.
So you asked for it. Colby delivered.
Taking the field.
Of course you are.
So you got Kittle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kelsey,
you got Kelsey.
Waller.
Yeah, I'm out.
Gesicki. Hawkinson.
Fant. If they get Aaron Rodgers.
I don't see the course of this happening. Stafford just throwing it to him a lot, and he's got all those receivers. And you know that the Rams still want to run the football. I don't think so.
Well, I'm glad we could settle that.
Pitts.
Bring it down.
Somebody brought up Kyle Pitts. Probably should have thrown him in there.
We'll see. You're a rook.
If they trade Julio.
Yeah, then there's one less person to focus on in the...
Either here nor there. You guys want me to play the video on the way out, or do we not want to? We don't want
the video.
Okay, all
right. What video is this?
I was going to play the open
intro
to close the show, but Joe said no, so we'll just leave it.
Joe, do we have a bet?
I'm in. I think if the bet is the Bills have more sacks than the Colts, I will take the Bills side of that.
How many sacks did the Bills have last year?
42, something like that.
Do we want to? You guys want to look this up before we make this official?
I am looking it up. Yes, I don't want to make an irresponsible decision here.
Well, you've already made a couple. I mean, the last bet you made with me was irresponsible, so
I would disagree with that.
I've crowdsourced it with a lot of different people. They're on my side. I think I did well here.
Of course they did.
So
they don't have the heart to tell you, to be honest with you. Colts had 40 last year.
Okay. How many did the Bills have?
I thought you were looking that up.
Yeah, that's your team. It's kind of your team, your thing.
You'd think this would be under defensive statistics.
Probably where it would be located, yeah.
The Buffalo Bills had 38.
I'm taking it.
Okay, so for the record, for the established record, Draft Dude's bet number 5 of the season.
Number 5.
Is what?
The Colts will have more sacks than the Bills.
Okay, the Bills will have more sacks than the Colts. And I'm going to delineate it as Joe has the Bills. Kyle has.
I am
You
interested.
very
in
easily just could have said which team will have more sacks this year.
But I'm interested in the rationale here. I don't think it's a bad bet to take either side of it. But if you're looking at the Colts minus Justin Houston plus Kwity Paye minus Denico Autry, and you look at the Bills and it's all plus, given all the Rousseau, Basham, F.A. Obata. What's your thought there? Who's
the best pass rusher on either team?
Jerry Hughes.
DeForest Buckner?
Oh, yeah, Buckner, sure, yeah.
Darius Leonard 2 years ago had 7 sacks. I'm banking on Darius Leonard getting back into a bigger role as a pressure player, which he's been weaned away from.
Do you know why you're going to win this bet? Because Jacksonville and Houston are in the AFC South. That's why you're going to win this bet.
Didn't think, Joe.
Yeah, I didn't think that.
You booked a bet.
No, Kyle didn't even think that either,
brother.
Kyle didn't know. You didn't think of that until I just said it. But that's going to give you the upper hand. I need Zach Wilson to get cooked a little bit.
And let's be honest, the Titans' right tackle situation is a little hot mess express of its own right now, too.
You're right. Yeah, no, I think that's going to give you the edge, but I made the bet.
You hate to see it. So,
Charles, to answer your question, all draft dudes' bets, unless otherwise noted, are for one box of Built Bars.
We still have yet to decide if we're doing aggregate or if we're doing every decided bet.
We have so many bets.
Aggregate.
We have so many bets at this
you
point.
8 boxes for me to get 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's got to be aggregate. We have way too many bets at this point. We have 5 bets, and it's. I didn't
even get my box from our last bet on running back over under in the draft.
But we didn't. Was there more bets? Because I thought about that this week as I went after Matty V for him, owing me from 2 years ago. Do I owe you for that, or is there other bets that we need to be mindful of?
I think we need to find out. I think we had 3 bets. We would need to find out what they were.
And that's why we're tracking them moving forward.
Correct.
Because we got
irresponsible and just handshake agreement, lock it in. And
nobody's ill intention. We just don't remember.
Right. We do 7 shows a week. Like
my goal for the rest of the week is I need to get a bet on the table with Shuby because that's the
Joe.
Only
what are you talking about? We have one.
Oh yeah, but it's 5 years.
I'm just saying we have one.
I want one that can be resolved this year.
We'll come up with one. There's going to be plenty of time, Joe. Trust me. We have 5 already.
I'll be on the lookout for conflict between you two. How's that?
We'll find one.
Keep my eyes peeled. You guys can keep your eyes peeled for a great show tomorrow. We have already recorded tomorrow's episode. It was really fun. We hope you guys check out the iTunes, Spotify, Podbean. What else is out there, Joe? Odyssey. Odyssey's the new one. Yep. Great show. Consume somebody else's content and make content out of it for ourselves. So we had a lot of fun doing that. Hit subscribe on the podcast. Following, you got 4 more shows this week. You also have the live stream on Thursday night, in which we're going through 2 more divisions worth of playoffpredictors.com for the 2021 season. Or in the road to our first mock draft of the 2022 NFL draft, which will be predicated on the draft order that we result when we pick all the games for all 32 teams. Lots to look forward to. Kyle Krabs, Joe Marino, Chris Schubert. Thanks to our friends at Mighty Swell for sponsoring the stream. Hope you guys have a great